Welcome to the best free trading community that you could be a part of. The link is below in my description. It's a Discord. Join the Discord. It's called Boiler Room. We keep it real. If you don't know what Boiler Room means, just go to YouTube and find the movie trailer. And how that movie portrays is basically how we want to have that type of atmosphere in the trading community. You know, be accountable for each other. Help us out. Help each other. And do it the right way with these 7 steps to profit. 7 steps to profit. What is the 7 steps to profit? What I use? We're gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the 7 step to profit that happened in this area where I sold USD last Monday. But to start off, I'll show you what are the 7 steps to profit. So we have supply and demand zones, 4-hour time frame. Right. I look for my supply and demand zones on the 4-hour time frame zone. Then I go to the tools and I pull out the tools and I pull out the horizontal line, and I put it in quarter points. Quarter points are just measure from whole number to whole number and split it within 250 points. And then within those 250 points that you split that into 125, which is another set of quarter points. These are areas that are key areas where price reacts and sets up. 3, break of structure. Break of structure is definitely needed because it helps out confirm the trend. Fair value gap. When a break of structure is happening, a fair value gap is occurring at the same time. And when that fair value gap happens, Fibonacci retracement tool will be your next step to pull out and measure that fair value gap, measure that break of structure, and then wait for the kill zone for price to come back and retrace to the kill zone, which is the 38.50%, where the tool I will show you where that is. And then when that's happening, you have another confirmation. You have confirmation after confirmation here at the same time to show you what's the trade, sell or buy. And then we have rule number 6, power of 3, which is helping you follow the trend and not be manipulated. Power of 3 is basically where if market opens and goes up, expect it to go down. And if market opens and goes down for the day, and it will go up afterwards. That's how the market moves and manipulates people. And then within that manipulation, a pattern appears, which is called the beat the market maker pattern that happens, which is this picture that I have set here. I'll show you. I was showing me 6 patterns that happens in the market during London and New York. And on top of all the strategies that I put together, all the rules, this is one of the pretty much most important rule because it gives me a clear view of what in price action is occurring, is happening, is appearing on the chart during London and New York. As you can see, the blue box is Asian session. Do not trade Asia. Let Asia give you a price action to identify what's going to happen afterwards. So in this case, my sell happened with the path 3 short, bottom left. So let's go back to the chart and go through the rules. Rule number 1, supply and demand, 4-hour time frame. As you can see on the left side here, past history, there's a demand zone, right? Now currently, when the market was happening and forming, it was forming at that demand zone and was also breaking that demand zone with a bearish candle. And it also did have my rules, right? Supply and demand zone set up. As you can see, I have my demand zones being pierced by a bearish candle. So rule number 1 is being checked out. Rule number 2, quarter points. Where's the quarter point? Where's price action occurring at? At the 108.750. Ironically, isn't that funny? Then we also have rule number 2 already checked out. Rule number 3 is break of structure. There's a break of structure happening because the bearish candle breaking at demand zone and is retesting. So when a break of structure is happening, a fair value gap is appearing. Fair value gap is pretty much like 2 to 5 candles continuously. When it comes to candlesticks, if it's like continuous candles, as you can see here in this break of structure, that 2 bearish candle that broke the structure, even in this measurement that I measured and also retraced to 38.50%, also made it a breakout structure and confirmed. Those are all confirmations for me to make the correct trade. For in this case, it was a sell. The trend was going down. So rule number one: supply and demand zone 4-hour time frame is being pierced. My demand zone is being pierced by a bearish candle. A breakout structure is happening at the quarter point. Fair value gap, Fibonacci tool, which is rule number 5. Pull out the Fibonacci, wait for it to retrace to your kill zone, which it did in that wick. As you can see, these bearish wicks, it wicked where? At the 38.50% in alignment. Where exactly? Near what quarter point? At the 108.75, giving me more confirmation. The breaker structure going downwards is telling me sell button, right? Not buy. So I'm waiting for the confirmation for it to go to the retracement tool area, kill zone 38.50%. Make my sell. That's already like 5 rules confirmation that you have to make a sell. Then we have 2 more. Rule number 6 is power of 3. If we go to the 1 hour, at that exact time, we will see that price the week open bullish, going up first, wicking and faking the people, and then let an Asian session run. Do not trade it, and we will identify the low and high based on what London is going to do in New York at the very end after Asian session is already printed. This indicator helps me out identify the price action where Asia, London, New York is occurring. And guess what is happening where? At a quarter point. 38.50. So the breaker structure happened in this area. You see those continuous candles, 1, 2, 3, 4 bearish, breaking structure to the left of that demand zone. That itself, you measure that whole move, and you see that it stayed at the 38.50% area, which where at the quarter point and demand zone turned to broken and turned into a supply for a sell. And then rule number 7 is finding what pattern you get when it comes to beat the market maker pattern. What pattern is happening after all the confirmation that you already identified. In this case, it was pat 3 short out of the 6 patterns that I showed you. And then boom, massive, everything confirmed, everything aligned. That's 7 confirmation. That's just enough for me to have confidence and make a trade with any lot size pretty much. If I do this 30 times, I'm doing a challenge which is $50 to 10K. 30 times, it'll be pretty much 30 setups with all these 7 steps. So it may not appear every day, but it could appear every 2 days. That's enough for me. I could be able to wait. My challenge now is to wait for the setups. So to make the order, to make the trade. I'd rather trade that because it gives me a high probability trade compared to trading something that has like 2, 3 confirmations. I'd rather have 7. So let's start off and back test this. I mean, I made profit with all this. As you can see, I already have here in the bubble written what happened at that time and the reason why I made the trade. Every time I make a trade, I always reason it too. I put it out there. I check them out. I check it out on my board that I have. And look where it went. Price usually goes from quarter point to quarter point. So pretty much your entry will be at quarter point. You'll be exiting at the next quarter point. In this case, I only made like 100 pips because I got out with 50 to 100 pips. I'm very satisfied with that. Knowing the fact that it's going to go a little lower, it's fine. Currently right now for USD for the next week coming up, I see price respecting this weekly demand zone that I have set here on orange and this 4-hour demand zone that I have set here as well. At a quarter point, if I see all I'm waiting for is now maybe even in the lower time frame, maybe I could see a breakup structure happening where I could also see a fair value gap appearing. And then when that happens, you pull out your Fibonacci tool and you wait for the kill zone 38.50% for price to retrace to that. And then from there on, you wait for a beat the market pattern, and you also identify the trend by doing rule number 6, which is power of 3, pretty much where the manipulation happens. And always follow your supply and demand zones when it comes to the strong ones, 4-hour and weekly in demand and daily. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Join the Discord. This would be the best Discord ever. Free trading community. Just join the Discord. Click there and let's get started. Let's make it happen.